If you look at all of the people we have in the room here today, this is a trusted network. You're all on the same Temenos T24 stack. If everyone gets onto the Ripple network and can move money around, you can get away from all the SWIFT networks, all that kind of stuff.
Hello everybody, we have quite the new update, new key discoveries from the Brother Real.
Supper.
Yes, and with that said, before we jump into all of the material, check out the Decent Wallet, significant discounts, and we're going to jump right back.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. It's just a few taps. You can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
I know people have said XPR is the new XRP or the new the real XRP. I'm not willing to go that far, but there are definitely XRP XPR connections, which we will go over today. So starting off here, you guys got a little bit of a teaser. You'll see the rest later, but we're going to go into here. Okay, so there's an integration with Deloitte and Ripple, which involves Temenos. All the way back in 2016, Deloitte here has a integration in which Ripple integrated into Temenos T24. So let's read this here. Deloitte says the overall objective of Ripple integration is to enable financial institutions to send payments, either local or foreign currency, in real time without relying on intermediary banking relationships. Ripple offers a version of blockchain protocol which has been fully integrated into Temenos T24 through Blue Altitude Gateway. Okay, so moving to the next one, just to confirm here, this is actually from Deloitte themselves. Again, from 2016. This week, Deloitte presented a pioneer project at Temenos Community Forum in 2016 in Barcelona. Full integration of the Ripple protocol and the Temenos core banking software using Blue Altitude Gateway technology. So confirmed, both through Deloitte and FinTech Futures. Ripple is integrated into Temenos T24 software. Okay, moving to the next slide. Temenos and Finastra are also integrated, and Finastra is big in the space. I'm sure Max and others have told you guys about Finastra, and I just wanted to highlight that here. A top-tier U.S. bank is modernizing its global cash management ops with technology from Temenos and Finastra. Okay, the bank is understood to be State Street. You guys know State Street is huge. Along with BlackRock and Vanguard, State Street own like a portion of every Fortune 500. Definitely check out the video Max and I did where we were talking about Blackstone, State Street, and Vanguard. Earlier this week, Temenos issued an announcement about a U.S.-based Tier 1 global bank selecting its flagship T24 core banking offering for its global cash management platform for deposit transaction, processing, internal account sweeping, and interest compensation. And we see that Metallicus and Metal Blockchain have a connection here with Temenos. So Metal Blockchain press release in which Metal Blockchain Web Auth Wallet and Metal Pay API are now available on Temenos Exchange. Okay, so just to confirm that, we go over to Temenos and we see Temenos says Metal Blockchain Web Auth Wallet and Metal Pay API Metallicus. So if you scroll down a little bit here, we see that Metal Blockchain, Metal Pay, and Web Auth are available on Temenos. Okay, and one of the things I want to point out, if you scroll down just a little bit here, that they have a blank stable coin, okay? So here, Metal Dollar and Metal Pay is set up to have bank stable coins go on its network through the Metal Dollar. So I think this is really going to be something that the credit unions can use for Metal Pay, okay? So I think this is huge for Metal Pay and huge for Metallicus, because Metal Pay will be set up to handle some credit unions, which may not be, Ripple may not want to handle those guys, so maybe Metallicus will handle them. So here's another connection with Ripple, Temenos, and Fednow. So Fednow, this is from Supura. You guys who are ZBEC guys will recognize Supura. If you go to the Ondo website, you will see that Supura is one of the partners for Ondo. And you know, Ondo and Securitize are kind of linked up with BlackRock. Okay? So this is from December 9th, 2023. Fednow and Ripple, what you need to know. Okay? So you see Supura says on June 29th, 2023, the Federal Reserve announced they had approved 57 early adopter entities, including Ripple, as a part of its Fednow pilot program. During the adoption process, Ripple and other financial service providers will undergo final trial runs on the service to ensure it's ready for ride speed adoption. So if you now go, Max has already pulled up this link, so we're going to go, like, pretend we clicked on a 57 provider link. If you scroll up here, you'll notice of these 57 providers, right? One of the providers is BNY Mellon, and we've gone over on the channel how big of a connection BNY Mellon is to Ripple XRP.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a participant. There are some service providers that we're going to get into, but, you know, technically speaking. But you're right. Go ahead.
So participant and BNY Mellon, huge connections to XRP. We've gone over how Matthew Mellon, back in, like, I think it's 2016, 2017, met with Robert Kennedy Jr., met with President Trump. So BNY Mellon's been a connection with XRP, huge connection. If you scroll down a little bit.
Big connection with Quant as well.
You see JP Morgan Chase. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you guys will see US Bank, and then down a little bit more, also Wells Fargo. Now,
and also U.S. Department of Treasury's Bureau of the Fiscal Service. A lot of talk lately about what's going on with the Treasury. Just honorable mention.
No worries. And then you see the service providers. We got Finastra, which we mentioned earlier. We also have Fiserv Solutions, who is partnered, and we'll show you this later. They're partnered not only with Metallicus, they're also partnered with XCN. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, you see Temenos. Okay? So we got the Fednow, and we have it multiple places, both for Temenos, for Finastra, and we also know that Metallicus is a Fednow service provider, which we'll show you now.
Just real quick, on my channel, if you haven't seen it, I've done at least a couple deep dives. You'll see on my channel end screen card that will talk about Stellar and their Fednow plug, and of course their plug to Fednow is also through Temenos. So Temenos is a huge player. They've been around for 20 plus years, and I believe there's also a video we don't have for you guys, but their CEO even mentions how they were the fastest growing and the most used. So interesting to see this and these constant connections, whether it's Stellar or the new discoveries from Rue about what you're about to see here in regards to Metallicus, XPR, and we've also done some other ones. Well, actually, we're about to do it. XRP, and of course, even Temenos. So that's a major.
Okay, so here we go to the next link, and you'll see Metallicus is a Fednow service provider. So we can see that along with Temenos and Finastra. Here it is connected. Fednow service provider. Again, Ripple was on that list before. Maybe that they were taken off, or maybe the connection with BNY Mellon. But
Or it could be part of that 1,700 NDAs that we've been talking about covering for quite some time now. And I just want to throw this in also, guys, because we realize that we're showing you some very, very old research, but it you know, these videos we're sharing with you guys, you know, we give you a little taste. Stick around to the end to see your answer on that. But in that answer, it shows plain as day, Temenos, Ripple. Some of you guys are going to say, well, it's just Ripple. No, it literally shows XRP. And just to also show you guys how recent this was with Metallicus and XPR, October 24th, 2024. So still very recent. That is not like many years ago. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
No worries. And then if we go to the next link here, you can see some of the supported networks for XPR. So not only do they support XRP, they support Dogecoin, Ethereum, Stellar, right? And here, scrolling some more, Litecoin,
Hedera.
and Hedera. So
That's why Hedera is also part of that list. And we covered this also, I think, a couple years ago on the live show. Rue and I talked about Hedera and Fednow. We're not the only ones that talked about it. A lot of other researchers have talked about it. But it's interesting to see the connections of Temenos, Fednow, and especially the whole thing of Hedera. So constant references, birds of a feather do flock together. And if anything, they're all on the same train, right? So
right, 100%. And then if we go to the next link here, we see that this is their bridges for
Right.
XPR and Metal.
Metal X Bridge. And this was discovery from Rue, so kudos to you again.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
So you look here, you see XPR, Metal, you see Bitcoin, Ethereum, XDC, right? So XDC makes an appearance. So pretty much all the big X coins, XDC, and if you scroll down, you'll see XRP and Stellar again. Stellar, EOS, Dogecoin, Cardano, Solana, Ripple, and hbar. All the big coins are supported here with Metal Network.
And even Solana, and we know that when it comes to ZBEX, ZBCN, they are with the Solana network. Interesting to get into that. We have another deep dive. It's going to be for another day for you guys. I don't know if we'll put it the day after this particular video when it comes out for you, but we have a key discovery for myself and Rue. Absolute bombshell when it comes to Quant and ZBEC. We've been talking about that possibility. You don't want to miss that video. But nonetheless, let's get back on topic. So XDC, I mean, when you discovered this, Rue, I thought, wow, what a discovery. Well, we're talking obviously about Fednow. So what do we have in that regard? Well, let's take you over to what we are talking about. So again, the thumbnail, so much jam-packed with information about all this stuff with Fednow and so on. But when you get into the weeds of this, this is really big, and we wish we could make it a little bit bigger for you guys. But in this PDF cited from R3, response to request for comment from Federal Reserve on Fednow service. Well, as I would always say, Rue, boil it, mash it, stick it in a stew. R3 welcomes the opportunity to respond to requests for comment from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System regarding the adoption and implementation of the Fednow service. We're excited to engage and offer our observations on this important innovation. The considerations raised by the governors are ones R3 has considered closely as they evaluate the tech. All right, we broadly support the criteria put forth in evaluating the Fednow service. In particular, we regard the public benefits. Okay, so that's awesome. But what do we also know, Rue? We know that when it comes to XDC, that is the standout thing when it comes to that, XDC R3 quarter bridge. And as shown in demos, not just from my channel and maybe yours and so on, there's other people that did TikTok videos and showed right after the ISO 222 messaging went live, no, not the mandate, but when it went live back in March 20th of 2023, it mentioned specifically that what was the settlement coin or token? It was XDC for R3. So there is your plug to Fednow, and to see this listed on what we saw earlier, just to give you guys a reminder of this right here on MetalX Bridge, I think speaks profound volumes of the potential of this sleeping gem.
Yep. And then if you check out the next link here, guys, we got XPR has mentioned XRP a couple different times on its network. Okay.
And recently, Rue, this one March 30th, and like it says,
and they're doing a little comparison there. And of course, you guys know I love symbolism. March 30th, that's a 33 right there. If you know, you know with 33. Scroll down. Here it is again, March 25th here. XRP holders are taking part in real DeFi on the XPR network. Finally, XRP holders can take part in real DeFi, trade, if you go back, trade, lend, borrow, and more with your XRP on a real DEX. And we're going to show you that DEX coming up here in a second. So here is MetalX lending. This is on MetalPay. And you can see here, yeah, thank you for enlarging that. They have 11 million total locked. But here they have, you can have USDC, Bitcoin, and Ripple XRP. So you can earn 0.01 APY on that. Like, I think when all the laws and everything is figured out, Ripple is going to do this themselves, and you'll earn a lot bigger APY. But I think this is just a little test bed for what XPR can do. And I think it speaks volumes that they can even do this. I'm sure there was some type of permission that had to do this. But they do that with XRP. They do that with also Dogecoin. And, of course, their own internal coins. And I think Litecoin was down there as well. Yep.
Yes, correct.
So very, very cool. I think this is just a testing bed until all the regulations are figured out. But I think this speaks volumes.
And we're going to bring you to the last part, the last final piece of the puzzle. As you also saw on the top left of the thumbnail, it is honorable mention to what? Well, of course, it would be Stronghold. And why would that be? Nacha is the key player for Stronghold, and we've done a few deep dives about this. So just a reminder for anybody that's new, you see here Nacha's statement on Fednow launch. This dates back to July 20th of 2023, but it's still valid because, again, when you go to Fednow, you do see Nacha mentioned. Yeah. And here's the thing, Nacha's statement on Fednow launch, and you do see here that the CEO, Jane Larimer, released the following statements in response that Nacha congratulates the Federal Reserve on the launch of Fednow. It's a significant achievement. Well, where does it pertain to us? It's Stronghold. We know about Stronghold, and this is the Fednow connection, if you will, through Nacha. So there it is for you guys. What we're going to do now is we're going to give you the moment you've been waiting for, the confirmation of Temenos and also Ripple through what? Well, it's this particular company, and we're just going to give you the full version of that. We gave you that taste at the beginning. But go ahead and play that, and then we're going to come right back.
So we have an idea for you that's going to do two key things. One, it's going to capitalize on one of the biggest trends that's impacting financial services today. And second, it's going to make all of you in the room a lot of money, right? So my name is John. I'm with Deloitte Digital, and we often advise our clients to work better with fintechs and look to embrace the technologies out there. So my main job is to introduce to you Pavel. Pavel is the CEO of Bluezell, which is a startup fintech that focuses on blockchain integration. Right?
All right. Hi, everybody. So what I'd like to do is let's have a show of hands of everybody who's heard of the blockchain. Okay, pretty much everybody. How many people here have actually seen something happen on the blockchain? Barely anybody. So what I like to say is I equate blockchain to high school sex. Everybody says they're doing it, everybody thinks everybody else is doing it, but nobody's doing anything.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
So what we're going to do here today is show you how the blockchain works in a real transaction with the T24. So what you see here is the current legacy systems that banks are used to when it comes to international payments. Multiple hops, correspondent banks in between, float accounts held everywhere. Problem with that, that's a legacy system that used to work when transactions used to be high dollar amount but low volume. But the world's changed now because of remittance, small to medium enterprise B2B business. You need low dollar amount but high volume of transactions. So this system doesn't work anymore. And also it's highly problematic. It's costly, 10 to 15% of transactions, highly error prone, 14% of wires get misdone, and extremely slow. Not just for the customer, but for you banks on the back end, 3 days to 2 weeks for settlement. I'm waiting 2 weeks for a Hong Kong wire still to show up. So we're going to focus on what the blockchain can deliver. So what we have here is a bank at one end connecting to the T24, then the BlueZelle technology is tapping into the T24, which will talk to the Ripple network, which is a Ripple protocol blockchain, and send money overseas. So let's do a demo. Here I am, Coast Capital Bank, and I'm the teller. John comes to me and says, hey, I want to send some money. Let's see, need some Canadian. I put in the account number for Coast Capital. There we go. And put in CAD account. We're going to send it to our European partner. Let's just say it's Nordea. Credit account EUR. And I'm going to pick a random dollar figure of 78 euros that he needs. So just like this. This is what the teller sees through T24. Let's look at the deal. Everything's there. I got the rate that came up. Now the rate that comes up is what the Ripple protocol will come back with from the market makers. It's an efficient path finding algorithm. I validate the deal, and now you saw the transaction happen, complete. So this is what's happened on the bank side right now. So let's recap. BlueZelle, the T24 stack at Coast Capital, talked to BlueZelle, went to the Ripple protocol, the blockchain, found an efficient rate of going from Canadian dollars to euro, and said, okay, let's finish that transaction. So all the messaging is done behind the scenes in real time, and then the transaction will happen over the blockchain. So here we go. I'm going now. Here's the actual blockchain ledger for Coast Capital. And there you see right there, 78 euros got instantly transacted. Where before took 2 weeks, took seconds. Here's all the authentication that you see behind it, the encryption, the hash key, the ledger, all these nerd words that you see or have heard about, that's where it is. Now I took that private hash, I'm taking it to the transaction page. On the left, you're going to see real live transactions happening over the blockchain right now being settled. I enter our hash key, which once again is private to Coast Capital. And here you see all the information that was related with that transaction. You saw 6 nodes, 6 ledgers automatically get updated at the same time. So once again, a transaction that took 2 weeks or 3 days even took seconds. So what does this matter to you as a bank? It opens up whole new opportunities. Customer remittance is huge. It's going from $500 billion a year to almost $700 billion in the next couple of years. Huge market to go after. We don't have to go to Western Union anymore. Your customer can stay loyal to your thing, because the most painful thing, I'm from Singapore now and Vancouver, and I see people going out of a bank with $1,000, going somewhere else to change the money. They should stay with their bank customer because that's who they're loyal to. The other biggest one is small to medium enterprises globally. Anybody with $1,000 can be an importer exporter now because of things like Alibaba. You don't need to do $10 million a year to have efficient financial transactions of overseas payments. You can start with really small, and that's the biggest growth market out there. Using blockchain for cross-border payments opens up these new revenue opportunities.
So we were just talking about this morning over breakfast. So if you're not doing this, your members and your customers will go elsewhere. So it's about retaining that customer relationship that you have today. And small business is just a huge opportunity and something we absolutely want to capitalize on. So our call to action, what we want to leave you with a thought is, it's never going to be perfect. I've been spending some time with a lot of startups, and they say, if you are not ashamed of your product when you launch, you waited too long. Same thing applies, right? We as organizations need to lean in and just try experiment. So a couple thoughts. We together can do a proof of concept. Let's deliver something and make it work, right? The high school thing that he commented about, we could start doing it as opposed to talking about it. Number two, you could do experiments. Nothing's gonna be perfect the first time, so try and experiment, learn from it, and go forward. But here's the biggest thing, number three. If you look at all of the people we have in the room here today, this is a trusted network. You're all on the same Temenos T24 stack. If everyone gets onto the Ripple network and can move money around, you can get away from all the S.W.I.F.T networks, all that kind of stuff. You have your own trusted network.
All right, so there you have it. So, do you have any closing thoughts, Rue, in regard to what we shared with everybody?
Well, I think this shows, at least through Temenos and through S.W.I.F.T, that there is a connection there with XPR and XRP. And I think it's just bullish about, it's bullish for XPR, excuse me. So all the people say there's not really a connection there. I didn't really think there was a connection there until I looked into it. Yeah, there's a connection there. Just want to show you guys that S.W.I.F.T is one of their partners. There it goes. So S.W.I.F.T, remember that we showed you S.W.I.F.T and that S.W.I.F.T was a Fednow early adopter. Okay, so they're double connected with Fednow as far as S.W.I.F.T goes, as far as Temenos goes. And I just noticed now it's a Jack Henry VIP member. That was another early adopter of Fednow. So these guys are sitting in good position as far as Fednow goes. As far as credit unions go, I think there's a lot to like about XPR.
My closing thoughts are really well done research. Got to give Rue a lot of credit here with some of his findings, and it just further solidifies why we research some of these projects and so on. So we won't keep you guys any more further. We just simply ask for a basic favor, and that is this. If you listen to this entire outline, type in this key term into the comments, and that is me against the world. You know, at the end of the day, a Ripple XRP, it was like them against SEC, XPR. It's like a lot
Gary
of people,
Gensler.
a lot of people don't believe in XPR, but a lot of people don't believe in a lot of things. On behalf of myself and the brother Rue, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. We will see you on the next one.
Well, lose, just me against the world. Nothing to lose, it's just me against the world. Hey, I got nothing to lose, just me against the world. Stuck in the game, me against the world, baby. Can you picture my prophesy? Stressing the city, the cops is hot for me. The projects is full of bullets, low bodies is dropping, there ain't no stopping me. Constantly moving while making millions, witnessing killings, leaving dead bodies in abandoned buildings. Can't reach the children cause they ill it, addicted to killing, and being peeled from the cap feeling without feeling. But will they last or be blasted, hard-headed bastard? Maybe he'll listen in his casket, the aftermath, more bodies being burned. I'm losing my homies in a hurry, they relocate to the cemetery. Got me worried, stressing my vision's blurry. The question is, will I live? No one in the world loves me. I'm headed for danger, don't trust strangers. Put one in the chamber whenever I'm feeling this anger. Don't wanna make excuses, cause this is how it is, what's the use? Unless we shoot, no one notices the you. It's just me against the world, baby. Me against the world. It's just me against the world. It's just me against the world. Me against the world. Cause it's just me against the world, baby. Me against the world. I got nothing to lose. It's just me against the world, baby. I got nothing to lose. Could somebody help me? I'm out here all by myself. See, blazing stores, baby, Capone's living wealthy. Pictures of my birth on this earth is what I'm dreaming. Seeing daddy see full of crooked demons, already crazy and screaming. I guess the nightmares of a child had me scared, but left me prepared for a while. Is there another route for a crooked outlaw? Veteran, a villain, a young thug, one day shall fall. Every day there's more death, and plus I don't listen. Seeing more reasons for me to proceed with being a scheme, more scheming and leave that keeps breathing. Cause ain't no bus to stack up, my nuts is backed up, I'm about to act up. Go load them back up, now watch me clap. I tried making fat cuts, but Joe, it ain't working. And he was lurking, I can see him slugging when I get the permit. So what? Go put some work in and make my mail. Making sales at 25 with an L, but oh